Close enough. Hello. I just sat down. I made some matcha for the first time. You saw that. It's okay. It's a little watered down. How are you? We haven't spoken in so long. Well, sort of. I've talked to you, but you haven't been aware of it. So, today is October 1st. Let me turn off this fan. So, today is November. Today is November 1st, 2022. Fuck. I still think it's 2020 sometimes. I don't even remember ever saying it was 2021. Man. Time is fleeting right now. It's been a crazy year. And I had multiple attempts at vlogging and this format that I usually do. But at the beginning of the year, I was just very busy. And I was never able to actually get anything out during the actual exciting months. So I'm going to spend today, the first, sort of just explaining all of the lore that happened this year. Because this is the only month video I made, or I'm making, right? I've made a month video every year, multiple times since 5 years ago, I think. So, maybe 4 years, but yeah. Let me catch you up on everything that you missed. So in January, life was as normal. You sort of saw me, I believe, in January when I recorded the December video for 2021. I don't remember any of it, genuinely. I was applying to jobs for videography, and I got one. Or I got a reply. I got an offer in February. And that sort of shook me to my core, because it was a high-paying job, but the only problem was I would have had to move. As much as it was paying, and as much as I did want to move, it didn't pay me enough to move to the area that it was in, which is LA, and LA is super expensive, especially right now. So instead of moving, and I attempted to just hammer on through. And during that time, I got to travel to Seattle, to New York, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., and Seattle again. I was in Seattle the first time for like 3 days, and then they sent me to New Jersey for 3 weeks. And then I got to come home for a week, which is pretty cool. And then I was in Seattle for about a month. Or I was in Washington, D.C. for a week, and then they sent me to Seattle for about 3 weeks, 3.5. Fast forward a few months, and it was in a location that was 2 hours away, and driving every day was mentally taxing. Physically on my car, it was terrible. I got 2 oil changes, which you're supposed to get every 5,000 miles. I got 2 oil changes within the 2 months that I was here at home. So I got back in May, and then I tried working at the place 2 hours away, driving to and from, for 2 months. And it eventually became just too much for me, and I had to quit. And it was this really long struggle. Like, even the first 2 weeks that I was back, I knew that I wouldn't be able to maintain long term. And I had actually tried moving out before I traveled, but one, it was going to be $1,800 a month for 6 months, and two, I didn't actually enjoy the job too much. So it was this mix of like, I don't want to leave like that. Like, if I were to leave right now, maybe not right now, but if I were to leave right now, I would want to do it either with friends or in a very affordable place. And it would have to be tops maybe an hour away at the moment. Unless it was some weird, hey, we're all moving to this states. And it was, like Washington or something. I loved Washington. Washington was a beautiful, beautiful place when I was there. Genuinely my favorite state that I've been to. Then after all of that traveling, and I had quit the job, I felt like I was where I wanted to be, sort of. It felt like everything that I was working toward to that point was there. I was working for somebody else, making lots of money, and that was sort of the goal when I started. That was why I did it. When I started doing this, I said I wanted to just do this, make lots of money. It doesn't matter as long as I'm in the position. And then when I got there, it just felt too much. It felt like it wasn't what I thought it would be. I still regret it sometimes. I think about where I'm at right now and realize that I could have roughly, I did the math, I could have had roughly 20,000 in my bank if I didn't spend it, right? If I had just been saving. And stuff like that is like, that hurts. Because I could be there, but I had quit. And then a week after I quit, we went on a road trip across the country. Not specifically because we wanted to, but my brother was moving out from our house, and he was moving in with his wife and kid in, I don't know. Either way, it was on practically the East Coast. Not coast, but it was in the mid-east. If that makes sense. I don't remember what specific state, but it was up there. So we drove all the way out there to help him move, do all that. And yeah, I got to see the country in that way as well. I just got back from seeing the country, and then we drove through the middle part, which I hadn't seen, which was pretty cool. We didn't really do a lot. It was really just a lot of driving, but I filmed the whole thing from the car, from the window. So yeah, this year was a really travel heavy year for me. After everything, after the road trip, after my last job, and all the smoke sort of faded, I'm sort of left here with a decision, right? Do I go find another job? Do I go back to school? Do I go back to Walmart? I worked at Walmart for 5 years, and I quit to pursue that other job. That's sort of just an important anecdote, I guess. And I decided that I would try to be my own business. I harshly deliberated it, and I've been working towards this for for years. I think I started in 2018. It felt like the time. I've been trying to do things for years and years now, but it felt like I was constricted by time. by working full-time or part-time at Walmart. I wasn't able to do anything. Going to school felt like that was sort of the obligation at the time, and then going to my new job was as time constricting as it could have been. And then I never had time to work on myself, my own business. And now I have so much time, and I saved enough money, I paid off my car, and I said, this is it. This is my time to get it going. Check. Actually, it's kind of sad. I really liked doing sync claps. Hello, welcome to my studio. This is a part of my house. This used to be my room. And then it was my brother's room, and I moved into that room, and then my brother moved out. Yeah, before I talk about the studio and how excited I am, actually, you know what? I need a drink. This is bubble milk tea. You can't see the this is bubble milk tea, boba in a can, basically. It's something I thought about, wasn't sure if it was real. Then we went to Little Tokyo a couple weeks ago, and apparently it's real, and I just hope it's good. I wanted to get my reaction on camera, so let's just, I wonder if I should have shaken it or something. It smells good. Ooh, that's good. Is there boba in it? Am I crazy? Welcome to my studio. This has everything I need production-wise in it. This is everything I've been accumulating for the past 5 years. This light, that camera, those cameras, these batteries. I've always wanted a battery station. My gimbal, my other stabilizer that doesn't really work. Little tools for my camera and stuff, my drone, and then I have a little audio station over there. Yeah, and a problem I had for the longest time, I feel, was packing up my camera in its bag and the tripods, putting them away because I needed room in my room for them. And now that they're always set up, it feels more convenient to just sit down and record, so it is really nice to have just motivation all the time to do this. Plus, it's sort of necessary, but whatever. Yeah, new problems on the home front. Money is becoming a problem. I thought when I started freelancing full-time, I guess, that I had enough to sustain myself for maybe 2 years. I paid off my car, and I figured if I've only got $200 to $300 a month in bills, and then I might pay for stuff sometimes for myself. And then expense after expense after expense came really quickly, and now I'm very low on funds, and it's actually very scary thinking about it. And yeah, I'm hoping that I can get it back. I can fix it. A little scared. I also need to organize this studio up because it's very messed up at the moment. I'll show the camera around, you could see everything. But yeah, I really got to organize this place a little bit better. I need to organize my life a little bit better. My goal for the last few months has been to set up passive revenue streams. I guess the ultimate goal is to make money working the least amount as possible by setting everything up now, I guess. Uploading stock footage, every shoot that I go to creates opportunities for stock footage, things like that. And it's been a lot of work. a lot of just groundwork, busy work of just boring stuff. And it's, it's boring. My goal as like a person, I guess, has been figuring myself out, figuring everything out. The goal is, freedom. I just want to be free to have all the time in the world to do stuff. It sounds unrealistic, but I know it's definitely possible if you put in enough time right now. Also, I guess I'm working against the clock of my bank account. If I could set up enough things now that can make money in the future, if I do run out of money or I need to get a job to resupply and, the passive revenue streams are able to do their thing, I'm able to make money that way. And, work double time, basically. The other thing I've been struggling with this year is the concept of success versus happiness. The struggle of, can you be successful even if you're not happy? Could you be happy without being successful? That's kind of the biggest theme, I guess, I've had this year. My job back in March, I was making a lot of money, but I wasn't happy doing it. So I left. It was difficult, but I had to. And now I'm where I'm at, struggling to be happy because I'm not successful. It's this cruel, double-sided coin of you can't be happy unless you're successful doing your own thing. But that's difficult, right? Being successful is difficult. You can't just get there doing nothing. Hello, vlog thing. Today is November 14th, 2022. I wasn't planning on filming today. I guess I should make some more context before anything. I'm out on a walk right now, so that's why I'm a voice, not a camera. I've been going on walks a lot recently, help clear my mind, really just to stay fit because my inactive lifestyle, but right now it's to clear my mind because stuff going on, personal stuff that I can't talk about on the video. But I mean, November 14th has its significance. It's why I started doing these monthly videos in the first place about 5 years ago. If you go back and watch the very first one, I believe it's called November Love, Loss, and Friendship. It probably says like from January or February of 2019 maybe. But it was made in November. It's all about that November from the previous year. And yeah, it kind of goes more into detail of the lore, I guess, of why it exists. So I'm not going to talk about it here. I don't know. I felt like ranting, just talking about whatever. I'm in a very bad spot. Negative mindset. Emotionally, financially, business-wise, nothing is happening. Nothing is taking off. Nothing is working out. And it feels like I'm at an all-time low. It feels like nothing is there right now. Nothing is where it should be. Everything is crazy. I'm freaking out. I could feel it in my fucking breath now. Yeah. Nothing is working out right now. Oh. Got the video on the video. That shit's crazy. You shoot vertical? It's disgusting.
I hate that you do it horizontal.
I'm true. I'm free.
Why are we recording this?
I don't know. This is just how it is now. I like that the street is completely fucking. This is just what we're gonna do all the time. Hey, buddy. Are you on camera? You're on camera. Look at you. So yeah, I'm cat sitting today, doing a little chores for this guy, and this is just one of those things that's happening in my life right now. It feels like I'm on a long side quest, or on multiple side quests. The main quest of, being at my job, going to school, the main quest of life, right? Your job, your schooling. And I was on that road for, technically my whole life, but as far as my adult life, I was working at the same job for 5 years, going to school in the same place for about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. And now I'm doing neither of those things. And now I spend my days trying to create passive income, doing a little cat sitting, doing odd jobs, basically. And just they all feel like side quests. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's just not as profitable as it could have been. But my goal is to make these side things profitable and enjoyable. I think that's the main thing. Because it is a lot of fun, doing whatever I want, basically. And I think that's kind of the whole point, having fun, being excited. It is just a little scary sometimes, thinking, how long is this going to last before I need to go back to that drab, boring lifestyle? And, I don't know. Could be weeks, months, could be years from now. I might be able to sustain this for years, and that is the goal, at least. But who knows how long even that will last us. Being in these side quests is fun, though. That's what this year has been since I quit my last job. And it's been fun. And that's, I guess, the gist of it. Enjoy some cat footage, because this is a cute little guy. Yeah. We have a new kitten. Have I talked about the new kitten? I was gonna make a segment where I talked about her. Speak to the people. This is Riki. Oh, you can't see her. This is Riki. Riki. She's very cute. She's very lovely. We just got her a couple days ago. She's about 3 months old, and she's very, very needy. She loves attention, and she's just very cute. And I'm tasked with looking over her during the days, at least for now, until she grows up to be, big independent cat who has no time for anybody. That'll happen maybe 3 months from now or so. But until she gets so independent, I'm supposed to look after her. That's my current side quest. So going back, that wasn't intentional. I don't need to clap because I have microphones now. I've made that joke probably twice already, haven't I? There is just something that's been on my mind a lot recently. It's been the concept of nostalgia. It's something that I guess, I don't know how many people actually know, but nostalgia used to be diagnosed as a disease for like soldiers in war and stuff who would yearn to be home. And it wasn't just this feeling that you get when you want to play Ocarina of Time on the N64 in your parents' den, right? It's different. Nostalgia isn't just the yearning to play old video games and watch old TV shows. It's also just the feeling of wanting to be a child again, or not even just a child, but wanting things to be the way they were, even 2-3 years ago. The thought of me being, how old was I? 21. I must have been, being 21, working every day at my old job, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, and then going to school at the same time, sleeping in my car in the parking lot. I idolize these moments, although at the time maybe I was actually kind of proud of them. The idea that I was doing these things, and now I'm kind of doing the opposite, sleeping. Well, I'm sleeping still a little bit more than I was, definitely a more healthy amount, because I used to only sleep 4 hours a day. I idolize these moments, and I think about them, and I know that it's the same feeling of nostalgia that I get when I'm playing old video games and whatever. It's just this weird idolization of the old times, and it's almost debilitating, the thought that I want to be in these spots more than where I am, and I want to be, happy all the time. Maybe not to say I wasn't happy all the time back then. You can look at all the old footage, and surely there was a point where I was sad. And that's another thing about all this, is that I have footage from the last 5 years, dating back to November of 2017, 2018, must have been 2017. And maybe I wasn't happy then. I mean, I guess there's a point. Okay, so the happiness actually started back up in November of 2017. I'll get to that in a second too, I guess. But, you know, you could definitely see in the 2020 videos, which is sort of at like the middle point between these two, I was trying to make one of these every month because I wanted to show that I was happy again. And I was. I haven't gone back and watched all those. I kind of want to for this video. Maybe it'll be like an extra one at the end or something. There'll be a second video, just like me reacting to my old videos. But even just all of that, right? Thinking about the fact that 5 years ago is when I started this journey of self-fulfillment and happiness. It's kind of incredible to think about that I've actually consistently done these, consistently with quotes, right? I mean, this is my only one this year, but the fact that I still do these and they still feel just as therapeutic is amazing. Hi! Yeah, going back and seeing how happy I was in those videos, it's weird because I know that where I am right now is where I've been working towards. I know that I've been trying to get right here for 5 years. You can go back to the last segment of that video in November 2017, and I was saying how I want to be an editor and how I want to do all these things. I want to go to school. And I did. I made those goals. As far as traditional nostalgia goes, though, I have been indulging very hard. I've been playing like old video games that I used to play, and that feels great. I've been watching older shows that I used to watch when I was a kid, and those are still fun. But I think the biggest one has been recapturing the magic. I didn't mean to make that pun. Recapturing the magic of opening cards, booster packs, and things like that. Back when I was a kid, 4 or 5 years old, everywhere we went sold Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? Every shop in this town sold Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and every time we would go somewhere, I would always ask if I could get a pack, just because I loved it, and I really wanted to be able to beat my brother, and whatever, right? And just, there's this feeling that's like no other, that it's hard to explain, of when you open the pack and you hear the sound and you smell the cards, and like, you know that all these cards can be used to, put into your deck and make it better, and it's just like this whole exciting experience that I love. And I can't do it with Yu-Gi-Oh anymore because, I was only so invested in Yu-Gi-Oh because of, the plot and like the first 2-3 seasons or whatever, and then Yu-Gi-Oh GX. I loved opening packs for those because I liked watching the shows, right? But Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of not monster heavy anymore. It's sort of all technological and stuff, and I don't really care for that. I don't really care for the direction that Yu-Gi-Oh has gone, as far as cards go at least. But there's still a beautiful simplicity in Magic cards. It's still very fairy tale based for the most part. It's still very like whimsical, and I do enjoy being able to crack open a pack. It still has this magical feeling. Sound is speeding. Video is recording. Yeah, there we go. The month is over. It's not over. It's like the 28th right now. But I can't imagine anything happening in the next 3 days that's so important that it derails everything. So, here we are. This month has been pretty crazy. Very, very insightful, I guess. It's just difficult to think about. The whole main feeling, I guess. I mean, I don't like these endings to be very doom and gloom. I like usually making them a little more hopeful, but I mean, this whole month has been sort of just this melancholy, like, this whole melancholy experience. It's sort of felt almost surreal in how little I've sort of done, but also how much I've felt. There's just this sort of clock looming over my head, it feels. And it's not in like a clock ticking down to death, like you would think that would mean. In more of like, I mean, yes, it is the death of me and the death of others that's sort of on my mind, but also like it's the thought of how long can I sustain, like how long can I sustain this lifestyle of, doing everything else before the world crashes back down on me and I have to go back to, doing like a 9 to 5. And that's sort of my most realistic fear. Like, I'm afraid of like heights in a weird way, or like, being stuck in the middle of the ocean type stuff, but those aren't as, those seem kind of irrational, right? I'm not going to be in the middle of the ocean anytime soon. I'm not going to be in a position where I will fall off of a high enough ladder to kill me. But the reality of going back to a dreadful 9 to 5 and sort of wasting my life away, in a sense, it's very scary. It's very real, and it's definitely going to happen sooner than I think it will if things continue the way they are. And I'm very afraid of that. I don't want that to happen. And I am trying almost everything like possible. I mean, I'm not. I want to say I'm trying everything possible, but I know that there's a million things that I could be doing that could potentially lead to jobs. It's just, I'm trying to sort of do everything organically and not force anything, but I don't know. It's just been there were some good points. I had a lot of fun this month. I mean, there were points of fun, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. These are really weird to do recaps for because I don't remember anything. I don't know where I'm going from here. It is kind of interesting to think about time, because I started doing these videos 5 years ago, and I've been on this journey for 5 years. And I feel like all of my month videos for the last 5 years have been that journey. Every month video from then until now is sort of just showing that journey. Those older ones were like me showing like techniques that I was trying to learn, especially the ones in 2020. I remember I was doing like the two me's and stuff, and it was all sort of this pursuit in finding who I am as a person. And I think I found it. I found who I am. I found where I'm trying to go. And I think that this is where I was supposed to be. When I think about what I wanted 5 years ago and becoming my own videographer. I mean, I think I wanted to work for somebody else and edit for them, but becoming my own videographer and doing all that seems to be the end game. Seems to be like where I was supposed to show up and do. So I think this chapter of my life is kind of over. These last 5 years have all been leading up until right now. And it's really scary. Because, I mean, I may be at the end of that line, that goal, that dream, but it's sort of the baseline, the very beginning of, the next 5 years. It feels like I'm closing the book, because, we reached the end, but I don't know where I'm going to go from here, but I just know that I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to go from here.